Hey y'all, so this is about to be the longest voiceover I've ever recorded. Nobody told me when you want to create cooking content and you don't want the noise in the background, you're going to have to silence the videos, either put some music over it or put your voice over it because nobody wants to hear all that ruckus. But anyway, let's get into the video. Lately, I've been loving doing cooking content. I mean, I already love cooking, so I said, why not? And it seems to be something I enjoy more than the regular content I do on my page. I even decided to make a separate cooking page on my TikTok. I think I have like 3 accounts, but anyway. Today's meal is going to be fried fish and spaghetti. Yes, I said fried fish and spaghetti. Where I'm from, we eat that together. I'm from St. Louis, not the South. I know y'all don't eat that down here, but it is what it is. Today, I'm going to be making fried fish and spaghetti. Yes, I said fried fish and spaghetti. I know if you're from the South, you're probably like, we don't eat that together down here. But I'm from St. Louis, and that's what we eat. We do fish fry Fridays, and typically it comes with spaghetti, some fries, probably, or potato wedges. And then you're going to have garlic bread and maybe some pickles and onions if you like that, and some mustard. That's what my daddy like. I don't. But yeah. And honestly, I prefer it that way. I don't like fried chicken and spaghetti, really. I don't know what it is about the fish with the sauce. But yeah. So I start by getting my spaghetti sauce ready because you want to have that simmering for at least 1 hour. I'm sorry, but 1 hour. And it's really nothing to the sauce. You just put like 2 to 3 cans of spaghetti sauce, depending on how many people you're serving. 1 can of diced tomatoes. And then I like to go in with my seasonings, which are typically idolize white salt, y'all. White salt, not a lot, but to taste. Pepper, just maybe like a teaspoon of sugar. And then I do oregano, Italian seasoning, basil, and my favorite seasoning, garlic powder. And when I first started making spaghetti, I would go by the measurements of the recipe my daddy gave me. But now I kind of just eyeball it, and it comes out right every single time. So yeah, but I'll for sure link the recipe if I could still find it, because it's honestly just a picture on my phone now. But I'll try to find the recipe and link it in my, not bio, but my description. Oh, and I forgot the most important thing. Make sure you put those bay leaves in there. I know some people are like, what? How does leaves create flavor? But I promise you, if you start using bay leaves and some of the stuff that you make, you're going to notice the difference. So now that I put my spaghetti sauce on about 5, I let it get to a boil, then I turn it down to about 3 so it simmers. I cut my vegetables because you are going to be putting green bell pepper and white onion. White onion. I used to mess this up every single time I made spaghetti. I would be putting red onion, but you really are supposed to put the white or yellow onion into your spaghetti. This is how your sauce should be simmering while it's in the pot. Don't mind my stove, y'all. I cannot keep cleaning and going because the spaghetti sauce sometimes pops onto the stove and whatever else I'm cooking. And sometimes I might clean as I go. Sometimes I wait until I'm done. But I promise you I'm not a dirty person. So now we're going to get our Italian sausage ready. I honestly prefer Italian sausage over ground beef. It's just a preference, I guess. Like, I like the flavor way better. But there's really nothing to this. You're just getting the sausage into a heated pan or a skillet. You're cooking it down or browning it, and you're putting your vegetables with it. I like to use the grease to cook the vegetables. And once that's done, I like to transfer the sausage and the vegetables into the sauce. Then, of course, once the meat is browned and you drain the sauce or the grease out the sauce, you can go ahead and add it into your sauce to keep it simmering for about maybe 30 more minutes. At this point, I think I had it on for at least an hour. Now for the main event, the fish. I don't know if the fish is my favorite part or spaghetti. I don't know, but it just pairs so well. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put oil into a heated skillet about halfway or a little below halfway. Otherwise, whenever you put the fish in, it's going to start spilling over and we don't want any grease fires. I typically know my oil is ready once I start smelling it, or I just kind of put a little bit of oil in the grease and it starts bubbling a little bit. So to get ready to fry the fish, I go ahead and add one egg, maybe one or two, depending on how much you're cooking. I try to add some mustard and my seasoning at the same time. And I also go ahead and add a little bit of milk, but not too much, because I feel like when you add too much of that, the breading doesn't stick to the fish, and that's what we want, obviously. So after that, I go ahead and give it a good mix. And then in a separate bowl, I start to get my flour together. So now in a separate bowl, I'm going to go ahead and get my flour together. I'm using Andy's red fish seasoning. Y'all, this is the best seasoning. I'm sorry, or the best flour, I should say. I came down to the South and I could not find anything that is really comparable to this Andy's. I'm sorry. Maybe it's because I grew up on it, but I'll be using Andy's for life. I was definitely in culture shock when I went to the store and realized I couldn't buy it in the store anymore. But this part is very self-explanatory. Well, not for everybody. I shouldn't say that, because if you're just not learning how to cook and you want to make some of these recipes, you may not have made stuff like this before. So let me stop. Very clean hands. You're going to clean your fish. Yes, clean the fish. And then you're going to dip it into that egg mixture and then into the flour. Honestly, this works way better if you have like a paper bag or grocery bag. I think I used the bowls because I feel like you could see what I was doing there. But honestly, when you do this, use a paper bag or a plastic bag. Because honestly, I was struggling to get that flour on top and on the bottom of that fish. You want that fish fully coated, y'all. Fully coated. But since you were smart and you started warming your oil up when I told you to do it, you are now ready to go ahead and put your fish in the fryer. Honestly, this works better if you have a deep fryer or a big skillet. But I broke my big skillet. I'm not going to say how. But go ahead and drop your fish into that fryer. If you have a deep fryer, you know the fish is done by floating to the top. But if you don't and you have to use a skillet like me, and a very small skillet, I used to have a big skillet, but I melted a spatula on it. I'm not going to say what happened. But anyway, you will know when it's golden brown. You're going to want to flip it, just like so. Very carefully, might I add, because that oil will spill over if you have too much in it. But I kind of know when to flip it when the edges start getting a little crispy or brown. And then whenever I do flip it, I make sure, see how I'm struggling? My pan is too small, y'all. And also, if the fish starts breaking apart when you try to flip it, leave it alone. Let it cook a little bit longer and then try to do it. Otherwise, you're going to end up with 15 million broken pieces in the fryer, and we don't want that. All right, so now that we're waiting on the fish, I typically try to boil my noodles at the same time the fish is cooking because I want everything to come out hot. And the noodles typically take like 9 to 10 minutes. And I'm not going to lie, y'all might frown on me for this, but I do drizzle a little bit of olive oil on my noodles because I don't like for my noodles to stick together. Don't crucify me. And this will also be a good time to put your garlic bread in if you haven't done that. Typically like halfway through the noodles being done, because I think it takes about 6 to 7 minutes depending on how crispy you like your garlic bread. And look at how golden brown that fish is. That is exactly what you want. Do not shame my Chipotle brown napkins. I ran out of paper towels, so this is what I had to use to drain the grease, okay? But yeah, the fish is done. The rest of the food should be done. So you should be able to go ahead and plate your food up and get ready to eat. If you did all of this simultaneously, of course. There's your sauce. I don't know why I want to swipe that garlic bread away like it was something y'all didn't need to see. But I will say, since I recorded this video, y'all, I got a new phone, new setup, and the quality and the angles are much better. So I can't wait to record more videos and cooking videos, really, because holiday season is here and I want to try more recipes. And I don't know, I just like the cooking content, like I said at the beginning. So yeah, I'm trying the food like I know it's not going to be good because I made it. Of course it's going to be good. And I'm not one of those people that's going to wait for my food to cool down. You see this steam? Yeah, it's going to go right in my mouth while it's piping hot. Burnt mouth and all. That's so what do y'all eat? Y'all spaghetti with? I know a lot of y'all do fried chicken and a little salad fresh out the fryer. Tell me what y'all eat. It's going right in my mouth. Your spaghetti with. And also, if you can give me any good recommendations on fish breading, I would appreciate it. Here's a slight close-up of my food. And that's all I have for y'all today. So if you watched to the end, thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time.